Hey everyone, it's Pastor Tabitha here, and I just want to talk with you guys a little bit about believing, right? So first off, I want us to have like this minute to stop and think, what does it mean to believe in something? I think a lot of times we diminish believing to um, wishful thinking, even, right? I believe you can do it. I hope you can do it, or like you got this, right? And I'm not saying that believing is bad. It's not bad to believe in somebody. It's not bad to wish the best for somebody. It's not bad to have hope that somebody's going to succeed, right? But when it comes to believing in God, sometimes our belief in God is diminished to a very human understanding of belief, right? Like we believe that God came to earth. We know that God came to earth. And we believe all of the stories that we have heard in the Bible. But do we believe in the power that Christ can do things in our lives, right? I think a lot of Christians fall short at that. Um, Today's Bible story actually comes from Mark 5, chapter 21, verse 43. And at this point, he got back into the boat, and another large crowd gathered around him. And a man named Jairus showed up. And Jairus, with his belief and with his faith, approached Jesus and said again and again, um, my daughter is dying. Please, please come back with me. Put your hand on her because I know you can heal her. Right? It wasn't just once. It says he did it again and again. And so eventually Jesus went with him. And Jairus' faith here caused quite a commotion with the people, right? It wasn't just like, hey, come hang out with me. Oh, that's cool. Jesus is going there. No, Jairus' belief that Jesus could heal his daughter, Jairus' deep-seated knowledge and trust that God could do this caused heads to turn, and they paid attention because this man believed deeply, and they followed Jairus and Jesus. And as they were walking along, something strange happened, right? I mean, there was people pushing all around Jesus everywhere they went. And all of a sudden, in the midst of this, Jesus feels some power leave his body. Now, we know what electricity feels like, right? But we understand that electricity feels that way. And so the disciples, they're like, yo, Jesus, everybody's bumping into you. Of course, somebody touched you. But Jesus knew that this touch was different. Why was this touch different? Because he knew the person at the other end needed something from him and believed that that person could get it by merely touching his garment. And so when he said, who touched me? Finally, the woman that touched him, she knew she had been healed. And she came and bowed at Jesus' feet. Now, yes, I left a little bit out in that part of the story, but I wanted you to understand that Jesus didn't have any requirements for healing this woman. He didn't say you have to meet these expectations and follow me around. The woman was healed without Jesus stopping the crowd to heal her. Why? Because she had so much belief in Jesus' healing power that she knew all she needed to do was touch the hem of Jesus. A woman who had been bleeding for 12 years knew nobody else in the world could heal her but she believed in Jesus enough to say, no one else can do what this man can do. And if I can only touch the hem of his clothing, not even touch him, if I could touch the hem, the very outskirts, the part that rubs on the ground, the dirtiest part, if I can touch just that, I know he can heal me. And Jesus looked at her and he said, dear woman, because you believe, you have been healed. Go in peace, and you will not suffer anymore. Then Jesus goes on to Jairus' house. And while he was there speaking with her, some men from the house of Jairus came and he said, your daughter is dead, sir. Right? So Jesus is still talking with this woman who had faith that all she had to do was touch Jesus. And these men came and said, your daughter has died, sir. There's no need to bother him. These men gave up hope. After he dismissed the woman and told her to go away, he looked at Jairus and said, don't pay attention to what they said, sir. Right? Jairus, you've believed in me enough to come and get me. And these men, they're telling you that your daughter's dead. Don't be afraid. Only believe. Catch that. Don't be afraid. Only believe. Jairus already believed. He believed that Jesus would save his daughter. He believed Jesus would heal his daughter, and he already went after Jesus. And Jesus, seeing this man's faith, followed the man home. He said, don't be afraid of your daughter's death. Only believe, only trust me. You've already done that once. Trust me. After that, only Peter, James, and John were allowed to go into Jairus' house. They went to the house, and Jesus found many people there crying loudly. There was so much noise and confusion, and Jesus entered the house. So there was a group of people mourning over this young woman who had died. And Jesus enters the house, and he says, why are you crying and making so much noise? She's not dead. She is sleeping. He's not dismissing them. He's not saying that this is crying is for nothing. It may feel like that, but in some ways, it's like looking somebody who's been handed a bad life and said, I know that you're upset right now, but you don't need to be because something better is out there, right? He's saying, believe, stop crying, stop mourning, and believe that she is not dead. She's only asleep. And they laughed at Jesus, right? They did not believe that Jesus was who he said he was. They did not believe that Jesus was capable of bringing this girl back to life. They did not believe, so they laughed. He told everyone to leave and went into the room where the child was. He took the child's father and mother and his followers into the room with him. He took the girl's hand and said, Talitha koum, which means little girl, I tell you, stand up. And the little girl stood up and she began walking. The father, mother, and all the followers were amazed. Jesus gave the father and mother strict orders not to tell people about this. Then he told them to give the girl some food. So today's video is titled Only Believe. That's a simple title, Only Believe. Well, how do I only believe when circumstances are bad? Right? All of these things are happening. You don't get it. You don't understand. She's dead, right? It's kind of what they're doing. You don't get it. You don't understand. Life is so hard right now because I can't afford X, Y, and Z. You're right. Maybe you can't afford X, Y, and Z. Oh, you don't get it because these things are happening. You're right. I don't get it. I don't understand what's going on. Only believe. You don't get it because I can't do this on my own. You don't get it. Nobody loves me. You don't get it. Nobody, da 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 da. You can fill in the blanks. You don't get it. Whatever. Right? But the response is don't be afraid. Only believe. And I know that this is hard. This is a hard concept to grasp. But if we have the faith of Jairus who says, come with me, I need you. I know you can heal my daughter. Come with me. And even after he's received word that his daughter is dead, he believed that Jesus could do something. Because if he didn't believe it, Jesus wouldn't have entered his house to heal her. Jairus believed that even when the world told him that hope was gone, that Jesus could give her or give him hope again. Only believe, Jairus. Only believe that when life is hard, Jesus can help you and give you hope. For the woman, her belief was so extreme that she knew she barely needed to touch Jesus to be healed. Only believe. And yeah, sure, we can't physically touch Jesus. We can get to the Holy Spirit. And if we just have that small little bit of faith that says, I just need a breadcrumb of you, God, and I know you can do this. I just need the slightest encounter with you, God, and I know you can do this. You can do this. So that's what I want you guys to take away today. Life is hard sometimes. And it's really hard for us to understand the depth that believing in Jesus can have, even at the smallest level of belief. But if you believe that God can transform you, even by just barely touching him, or even through begging and saying, I need you to come through with this, and all hope is gone, and I need you because only you can do this. Whether it's a sliver of belief or the most forceful of beliefs, we believe only Jesus can do it. If we only believe, he's got us.